All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dan Lina. I'm the Assistant Dean for Development at Michigan State University College of Law. I'm off over there, and I'm here with John Paskey.
Thanks, Dan. Welcome to LexHacks. Thanks, everybody, for coming out this weekend. We've got some really cool projects here. We were actually excited. We had 13 different projects over the weekend. So we're going to go through the challenges from lowest to highest, actually, not enough. So that when your name is called, we'll have you up. Some teams did multiple challenges, so we're going to have you come up with each of the challenges that you did, and we'll do it challenge by challenge. So Dan, if you want to get started, there's without further ado, announce the XLP challenge, and then we'll get started with the first challenge present.
Sure. So the next LP challenge was to develop a basic tool to identify different classes of emotions in emails. And so they provided sample email data and references for their relevant work, and the contestants will tell you more about it as they walk through their demonstration.
Yeah, and this is a $250 challenge from XLP.
Thanks, Sal. You're okay.
What's up? My name is Sal, and I'm going to present a project I think looking out. It's called, well, it doesn't really have a particular name. So next motion to basically it's a website that I made up to allow you to decide to, well, assume I don't know anything about the subtle emotions that you're there. Okay, you got an email and you try to figure out like the emotions that you didn't really interpret correctly at the beginning. And you need the software, so this is software you go to. For example, you have a speech, and what you can do is to copy and paste that speech into this text area, and then you can click the check emotion. So what we're looking at is the speech by Abraham Lincoln. What you can see is okay. So this emotion is the dominant emotion that this article is trying to convey. That every sentence has its own emotion. So the principal one is the one that the article most focused on. It's a standard, so it's kind of an average one. And here's another verse from Shakespeare's. So it's going to be joy. So Shakespeare is pretty effective. So it gives you a pretty good prediction of the kind of emotion this article is about. And below is a list of all the potential emotions that this particular word is trying to tell you. So it's pretty straightforward. Probably have a basic picture I'll tell you. I just start one more and then we'll come back. So reset and then copy and paste. Then we use the motion and the second motion and the third motion. So again, so this is another method. All right, thank you. Hope I left a good impression for us.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Sal. To get just a little more background too. So each of our demonstrations will be 3 minutes, and keep time. So we'll give you a signal kind of when we're at 1 minute for your demo. The application really for this is really interesting because XLP is a document review company, and they're trying to build an application for us to be able to detect emotions in emails, something that is difficult even for humans to do. So it's a very interesting challenge, a large challenge.
Yeah, it is. We've got, I think, 2 more in this XLP challenge. The next one is a motion detector, and Irene. Is Irene here?
Yes.
She's here. Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right, so Irene and Gary, it looks like they're going to come up. And
if anybody's on social media, hashtag LexHacks is what you want to tag all your pictures. So
and we've got our webcam. Yeah, 3 minutes.
algorithm. We have it based on swearing, punctuation deviations such as exclamation points, question marks, smiley faces, short sentences, long sentences, and keywords. And these indicators are tallied up and then divided by the total number of sentences and the total lines in the text in order to receive an emotion score. So using some of the emails that were presented in the Google Doc for the challenge, we chose a sensitivity scale for it to see sort of what, I guess, how sensitive you wanted it to test. And as you see, it runs through the text, and it'll give you a score right here of what emotion it is, and then what the suspected emotion category is. Not only is this useful to the feelings, but one step further that would be useful to use this application for would be sexual harassment lawsuits, in which oftentimes there's not really a smoking gun to the text that's being used in document reviews. So one of the challenges that we did to move a step forward beyond this is to try to understand sexual undertones in text that we may be able to use in sexual litigation for sexual harassment suits. One of the things that we did to sort of, I guess, make our emotion score more accurate is to put weight on stuff such as bolded text, capitalization, underlination, italicizing, and underlining in order to detect on the strength of the text.
No, I think that's it. It's designed, I mean, it's designed to do multiple emails at once, and then copy and paste one at a time. You get in one location, upload, scroll through and review them all, and just so you can have more emails. It's going to keep scrolling to our next set of emails that we're running over there to go to the store as well. Like I said, you can adjust that score from 0.05 to 2.0, so it's really sensitive. You can extend it out a little bit. And you see, no, strong words. Thank you.
Okay, next up we have final for next LP. Next LP challenge,
So we don't really, ours is a command line tool, so we don't really need to show anything. But basically what we did was we brought a Python command line script where it's taken a file, and the file could be multiple emails or just one email, and we scan through the file to determine, okay, what emotion. And with five emotions, happiness, sadness, irritation, anticipation, or appreciation, sorry, and lastly sadness. So how we did this was we used a dictionary of basically words that we thought conveyed happiness or words we thought conveyed sadness. And we matched these words, and then we iterated through the emails to say, okay, what words are these? So basically, if it reaches a certain threshold, you say, okay, this is a happy email, or this is a sad email. In the end, it worked pretty well, but we context our candidate is mostly a tool that just by just the word itself. So we'll be looking at sarcasm, but I think that's something we could definitely look into in the future. Our main goal is trying to get as many experiences as we could, and we kind of want to interrelate. So when we have the appreciate they're related, we kind of want them to distinguish between the two, and then in the future we'll be able to distinguish between the two.
Thank you. Okay, the next challenge is a $500 challenge from LexPredict. Mike Bomarito was here yesterday, but he had to fly home yesterday, so I wanted to introduce the challenge. Their challenge is to develop a basic tool for processing contracts. Specifically, use a sample contract data that they provided to develop algorithms to identify the parties to an agreement, identify the effective date segment and date of the agreement, and identify termination clause segments and dates in the agreement. And so the uses of this are pretty obvious, right? These are things that we do now with manual review. If you can process contracts and pick out these clauses in the contracts, that'd be very valuable. And we had one submission for that. Edward Ryan is going to come up and present that. With Chase Hurd.
Okay, so my name is Chase Hurdle. This is Edward Ryan. We worked with two other, well, three other folks on this challenge. As Dan said, we were tasked with pulling out the parties, the effective date, the termination date, and focus of contracts provided by LexHacks. I'm going to run this up. So yeah, reading contracts, it typically comes easy for most lawyers. But I think it's safe to say this, that everyone in here feels a machine plus a lawyer is obviously greater than just a lawyer on their own. And this is a difficult task to undertake. Working with a developer and lawyer like Edward, really made this challenge a little bit easier for our team, but we ran into some. So it's a difficult stuff along the way. First things first, to successfully understand a contract, the reader invariably has to identify two things. You can't identify the parties to be charged and when the parties' obligations begin and end. You don't understand a contract at all. You don't even know if you're looking at a contract, really. So it's just fundamental to this challenge. And the beginning piece of creating a solution for something like this. Getting started, the machine to do this basic task is not easy in shape or form. You're going to do a wide variety of problems along the way. I'll kind of let Ed kind of talk to the group a little bit about those. Yeah, like we usually have the long-term solution involved. We learn better at identifying these particular types of documents, but we do the two-day hackathon bundles and the types of things to do that. So we were going to do it with a mixed approach. And the idea is that in normal NLP, you have all these different steps that can be very exciting and blurs and all of that. So we ended up just doing custom rules and maybe plug in later. So this is like a first step to an open source project. We'd love to see this get used in other applications. And so yeah, we were able to successfully focus on. Here's the GitHub URL if you want to give it a try. If there's nothing access to that, you wrote most of it. Something like moves forward and back in certain parts of the contract to look for like things lawyers would recognize, like definitions that we put in front of the final party, or things that are needed right before an effective date, phrases that are commonly used, things like that, and also how deep in the document you are, all as many factors as we can pick up the right rules. And that's pretty much the gist of it. We start with Kyle Bender. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
And let's first predict that giving you guys a data set.
Yeah. So it's like 3,600 plus documents. So we did not resample that.
Okay, the challenge. Mark is here, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about the challenge, and we're going to get the two challenge participants. So continuing. There you go.
Ah, there you go. Thank you. The game standard challenge is to spot the leads, and fundamentally, it has enormous commercial value. We'll be made part of our website on the free access of the site. There are four parts of this challenge. There's a three phases of building up the site. The first is to integrate grammatical error. The second is to calculate which is a measure of readability of a contract, to measure to identify sentences, typically run-on sentences, the way of using a contract. It's legally looking forward to seeing the presentation. Great, thanks. First up, we have common law. Kevin.
Working on this project with, so the application is and parse the body of the text. If you get contract, we are contract. Search through the body of the document, parse out by things for that, as well as find all keywords and translate it into here. So I'll show you an example of how it works. This is written in JavaScript using Meteor framework. So take the document here, I'm just going to use this section of it. Basically, I don't know if you caught that. I did have where judgment so our tagline is communicating legalese for the layman. So I'll show it to you one more time. It's a contract here. You can see, look at this. When I translate it, it will turn text here. So our body text and translate the word. I have this click here and have the text but it's transformed all. Try out. You can search. You can search that inside this text editor and change it if you actually want to use it. But a couple more hours. It's a launch on iOS and Android. That's good. So,
Okay. We have one more in this category challenge. The Game Standards draft from
this is basically the same thing that he just showed you, but there's a little bit of difference in the style. So I'm going to see here. Check here. This one. If you want to in grammar. Then when you hit submit first, when you submit the processes that are too long inside the automatically put the changes in and then it'll mark them in red. So if you want to go back and change it, you can go back and change it back. And let's see. Oh, and it shows you the right here. So yeah, I can do it with another one.
Kingsley, I look forward to when that goes live on your website. Instructor. Okay. All right. E-Vantage account. $1,000 challenge. Thanks, Brian. And the person who submitted for submission. So first, Irene, you can come on up with her team, please. Team JD, I think you call yourselves. Gary, you're going to do this one? Okay, great. Okay, so we can identify the information. So this is Dan. Doing something in the law firm. Swimming emails, stats and cases, works an 80-hour plus work week on average. His inbox often looks like that. When you get into the situation, it can be very difficult to ensure that all their emails are checked for PII. That's when PII detector comes to the rescue. So here's the typical various PIIs. We have phone numbers, email addresses, and we have attached 2 documents that also contain PII. If PII is detected in the body of an email or in the attachment, the email is not sent. Instead, you're going to get this right in your email with 2 different files that you can review and send later. The first one is going to highlight all the PII. As of right now, it will detect social security numbers, date of birth, phone numbers, email addresses, credit card numbers, and your IP addresses. The second one you get will actually read out all the information for you. If the files contain API, it will actually pull those links out for you. Down below in the email, you can actually pull up those attachments that will show what exactly was redacted from those if you still want to send those. So at the end, saves today, keep the boss and the client happy. This is a working demo, right? You've got a working product. We do, as of right now, it's available for Google, so if you create it in a Google document, it'll scan it, every which way you make those bounce back so you have it. Okay. Okay. Next is, I believe, Melissa. Is that right? Yes, Melissa.
guides, and basically able to scan the birthdays to tell you how many of these there is, and you're able to which ones you want to look for specifically. We did this basically by narrowing to the board. So figuring out it's not just always what period one of the main things we wanted to catch up on is what are the different inputs and birthdays in a million different formats. And I wanted to get his birthday, so I think that's where we really wanted to zone in on. But in the future, we'd like to extend this for driver's license, ID numbers, and just other information that what other people get. So we can scan the text document or document and you know. Thank you.
Okay, we're in the home stretch. Next, Lisa, talk a little bit about get through the
So our challenge was create value that was considering whether they should either pursue a claim in court, how much of their time it's going to take, like a penny or cheating. And so I can see the profit side.
Okay, first up then, the team from MSU Law, Irene.
So we did MSU. We had coding tool and made two apps. Online. Sorry. Voice, yes, you so next slide will be further the community system able to do something like this. So our idea was kind of company at the beginning when you come into the system. But that's not really the problem. Actually, the emotional barrier to dealing with these systems. It's dealing with a person who does not have to knowing what's going to come of it, not knowing the actual results going to end up happening. And this information a tech will allow you to collect all the data and so we'll map out how long these things all what type of risk, what path you take. So, we study that kind of how plan, everything like that. And then so they afterwards learn about the different throughout the process. This information that you can set up is all what we want to do by having the app learn to do it. I'm getting to the end where the student use it by it learns you so well as you basically that's I think it's the best effect. And all the digital system to learn about what's actually going on in the world, rather than just what's supposed to happen. Yeah. So that's kind of our concept.
That's good. The next one is the pursuit estimator for the team with the model.
My team was myself, my manager, Gandhi, and game projects. So the problem really is people have a conflict in their life, and they're trying to decide what do I do about it. Do I if I take it to court, is it going to take too much time? Am I going to lose? Even if I win, what do I really get out of it? Whether it's worth it to take it to court. Until we finish up, I'll tell you some of the challenges. What we really did was take court data about a certain issue, and we chose security deposits. So our release gave a 1,500 security deposit, and your apartment is wide open, so there's some mess. Look at all these. Actually, all of that 1,500. Well, what's next? I'm not getting anywhere with that board. Should I do the state board and try to get my money back?
We can look at it so that will you connect me back to the all we need is HP display port connector doesn't have an HDMI out. You want to just use your machine and connect to the web? Okay, so we can do on the web right here. And
Well, the idea was to take court data on these settlements appearance. The person's gonna have to take off work. That's cost. Everyone needs to know, and also some of the likelihood of success. Because we work with data and actually spent a lot of time looking for what we ended up creating is more of an expert system. So we found a report that had some statistics about just general pros say you're running the other side of the alert or not. And then also the percentage of the claimant that the plaintiff wanted they tended to get in each of those situations. Into a system that helps the users see what the likelihood of those bad products. So this is meant for a user probably who comes to the site. They are directed to it either from the help chat or maybe some links. And they come here, they say what their claim type is. So in this case, they security deposit 2. the answer is amazing. And I'm saying, because you're collecting getting your answer, you can keep that information as well. So, and with a privacy statement and all that, you need to do that. But this list of addresses of people who complaints, security competitions, and you can even see if one thing, kind of tell you something where some of these issues are. So these are just questions, basic information. Statement is whether these are in this case, we're assuming the thing kind of helping decide whether they so just leave that because that is a major determinant. So they might not know, which is fine. That building does have an attorney in that case, just because it's a little less big. We'll see as for now. So they tell us how much they want, and then we also look into some questions about the rest of security deposit issues. So if the landlord has submitted receipts, then that might actually be subtracted. Or might say you still get a down back. There are dates that you have to put into the prototype to keep rent off. So those questions are asked to help your because we want to tell the user what is them, not just in terms of legal court fees, which are built into the equation, but also their time. We ask them how much it's worth in order to determine kind of an opportunity cost that you will of going for. So in this case, we have a relatively simple questionnaire. There's also a link to that will help you see a map and add the address again and see how far the workhouse is. And you can tell it how far it is. We'll also consider that in the equation of the process. And then when you submit this, it gives kind of a decision tree and some gen nodes. It's also very visual. So in this case, we tell the user they've really got two options. Really, they can settle it, but they're probably at this point that didn't work. If they just move on with their life, they should they will be out $1,000 at least. But if they go to court, what is their likelihood of success? So in this case, because the landlord had an attorney, then if there's a 35% likelihood that they're going to lose, and if they do, it's going to be really costly. It's going to cost them. They're going to not win any of the security deposit, and it's going to cost court fees and their time. And that's what it's going to tell them. There's over a quarter chance that they could lose a lot of money and time. But this also tells them that they have 50% chance likelihood of getting something back, and actually that is positive, even after you consider how much time they spend on it and the court fees. And if we go out and change some of our answers, so if we change, say that, with the landlord is, we can see that the percentages actually go up. The likelihood of getting something back is now over 2%. And the likelihood of getting everything that you want. We've got almost a 75% chance of getting something back, a positive result. And so in that case, it says it's probably worth going to court in this situation, which is a really helpful thing to know because business users came to the tool having no clue. And now they've got some visual representation that, oh, okay, it might be worth my time to actually bring this to court. So that's what we built to take the first step for eliminating delay and try to
All right. Thank you. I have $250 in challenges this weekend. can put up their own challenge money, except for Illinois Legal Aid Online and Michigan Legal Health. Thank you very much, Lisa Colboy, with Illinois Legal Aid Online, and Andrew Tripp, Michigan Legal Health, to put together these challenges, and then we're able to crowdfund the prize money for those challenges. So thanks to everyone who put up money via Twitter, and we can continue to donate to these challenges, and my hat's really off to Lisa Colboy and Andrew Tripp for participating in this project and taking a chance at something like this to produce something to continue to improve legal service delivery. So we think we've got some great results from these. And so the next challenge that I want to talk about is the Michigan Legal Health. Legal Trip will say just about the challenge. The participants talked about it, but theirs is a gamified legal health check. And so the idea is individuals' applications have their legal health evaluated. And so one of the examples would be that you could log in and you get questions such as, and Angela, do you have a will? If yes, good for you. You get points for it. Is it recent? Recent. And then it's good that you review your will and why you should make sure it's recent and updated. And there will be a whole variety of other questions based on whether the person has children, whether they've decided who should make medical decisions for them, and why. So I think you get the idea, and each of the participants, we have three teams submit solutions, and the first one that we'll have the lawyer up team, Anil, Okay, so Alyssa, again, can you just get ready? Okay, you have an APP as well, so I don't know. This is an overall display.
User kind of what we're actually doing. So we built this simple design on purpose. So you have a will, yes or no. And you know, a little about like why they should have a will. It's a long session. Ideally, in the future, we'd like to add references to where they can learn more about this topic. So that's something we'd like to improve on for later. Also, the questions are based off of the previous questions. So if you have a will, if you say no, different questions will come up, and if you say yes, other questions will come up. So that's basically our game. In the end, you'll get a score rating your health, whether you're healthy, getting sick, or need a doctor. And just want to reiterate one more thing. This game can be extended into other areas of the law. We focus on housing, business, and business. Again, if you get on the business, you would not get those questions. Some people like the business, finance, taxes, relates to everyone, and life. So we chose those who not again related to a population because we decide like seniors, adults, so those are applicable, and then we choose to add other categories, civil rights, Thank you. Any questions?
Okay, Irene, Gary, and Dan, if you want to come up, please explain your Michigan mental health solution.
So oftentimes, a lot of consumers don't really consider potential legal risk until they have one that is already present in front of them. So the goal of the legal health checkup is to help consumers be more proactive, especially a lot of the low-income or elder consumers that will seek out legal aid organizations for help. So I want to set the game with a treasure hunt, where each component would be like an adventure that you would need to get through before you got to the treasure, which would be your legal health score. In each component, you would travel through questions that would present like obstacles, and depending on if you got the right answer, you would be presented the most efficient path through the obstacle. But if you got the wrong answer, you'd be taken on the D4, which would be like a lesson plan. The consumer would be able to choose which component they started with, but they wouldn't be able to reach the treasure until they completed all three. So for example, if you have a will, if you click yes, that would be the answer we wanted. So you would get a line to swing over the pin. No would be the wrong answer, and you would fall into the pit, and you would need to start swimming. So while you're swimming, again, this would be a detour to the treasure hunt, and it would present you, your students may have potential legal issues if you don't create a will. And based on this, we would ask more questions such as whether or not the consumer has kids, or what kind of assets they have, in order to customize hypotheticals that would help them understand why it would be important to have a will. Once they complete all three components and travel through the obstacle courses, we would present them, which would be the health score. There would be a summary page that would discuss the strengths and weaknesses that the consumer has regarding legal knowledge. Actually, based on the weaknesses, we would suggest steps that they could take to remedy these weaknesses, as well as summary of the lessons that they had to learn throughout there. And we would also provide links to Michigan Legal Help or whichever state legal aid organization so that they could learn more information on their
Okay, so and then finally our last presentation application. Bill, Jason, let's see if we can get your laptop to work this. And he's going to present Lawyer Up. All right, so my game is Lawyer Up. Now, what is Lawyer Up? Essentially, what it is an Oregon Trail like lawyer help simulation. So, in the beginning of the game, you have a trusted lawyer. You know him as Phoenix, right? But in this case, he's Jack. And he's our lawyer. A lot of legal tips, and that will help us in the game. So, creating a will. That's because the things are broad domains. One thing is creating a will, and your own claims, your housing, and also your taxes. Now, when we start with one more detail, in this case, let's go to will. Okay, so we have our rituals. He tells us small subsets of problems like if you want to create a will entity, make this focus in the future. So I'm going to say yes, that's actually make a will. Exactly what that is. Okay. He asked me if I had any children, I accidentally skipped through that really quickly. But just to show, to continue, let's say look at like right? So what it then goes into a timeline. So you're just doing your day, and eventually a lot of things are eventually pop all the legal issues you had and what's what you can do is you go back to the lawyer and you can time to reference it and you can reevaluate and what decisions you previously made. Okay, May 13th, Friday the 13th. Something happened. We're just playing farm for life. But on the bright side of things, you made a will, so all of our assets are taken care of. So the way that it's structured is that's a big deal. This is a very complex game, right? And laws change and a lot of things, vary. So how are we going to update it constantly? Well, the way that the game is structured data-wise, it's very simplistic to add and delete and modify. In fact, if you can just edit the JSON file, then you pretty much can just edit the script. So that's essentially Lawyer Up. Thank you guys. Okay, thank you everyone for your submissions. What we're going to do right now is we're going to break for about 15 or 20 minutes. We're going to get all the challenge sponsors together. We're going to work to pick the winners, and then we're going to reconvene at about 5:45 minutes longer than that, hopefully not much longer than that. Well, and we're going to announce the winners and acknowledge our sponsors a weekend. So see you in about 15 minutes.